And a very good morning to you. Loads to talk about today. We are going to be talking to Chris Whitter again. He's the man, of course, who set up this Facebook group. Thousands and thousands of Sun readers have now joined it. He's naming and shaming convicted paedophiles and sex offenders. Loads and loads of problems about this yesterday. Then we had a woman phone up who's had a relative who was a sex offender, and she said they shouldn't be named and shamed in this way. This would only promote vigilante attacks. Your views. Lots of other people disagree. I applaud what Chris Whitter has done. Hopefully it'll make authorities stand up and pay attention. Children need to be protected in this world. I think every parent should have the right to know about paedophiles living in their area. Well done for all your hard work, Chris. There's one example. Your views, please. 020 33 64 7000 is your telephone number. Pick up that phone and give us a call. John, you were more respectful than I would have been yesterday. Good on you for cutting that pervert off when you did. Let's hope he never gets another teaching job or any other with kids. Well, we spoke to this man yesterday. He phoned in out of the blue. He's a school teacher. He goes under the name of Nigel Oldfield. We've done some research on him overnight. Here's a article on him from the Times Education Supplement. He's 46. He was head of science at a Derbyshire school in the summer of 2002, when over a 3-week period he collected pornographic images and several 18-hour internet sessions. He came to the attention of the police when he was seen at a Sheffield shopping centre allegedly taking pictures of children. When questioned, he admitted his home computer contained indecent images of youngsters. Police found later that he collected 11,000 pornographic pictures and videos of all age groups, including babies. He served 7.5 months in Doncaster prison. The police do say he's unlikely to commit an offence again, and they say he's never been accused of any kind of physical assault. This is the man who phoned in yesterday. Look back at our archive as well, of course, and this man, if it's the same man who phoned in yesterday, basically he's been involved with a political party set up by Dutch paedophiles. Evidently Nigel Oldfield swapped emails with the Dutch paedophile party NVD, which wants the age of consent to be 12 and eventually axed altogether. Mr. Oldfield has sent me an email overnight. He's also set up, he's gone onto a legal sort of website and posted some comments about me. But he says, "Hi, sad lad. Just in case Johnny C did not pass it on," whoever Johnny C is. "Now, I rarely give up, so if you ever want advice on how to reduce real abuse of minors and adults, or just want to learn something so you don't appear to be so ignorant on the topics, you know where I am." Ignorant? You were the one who said the age of consent was 18. You've admitted that on your own forum today, you fool. He goes on to say this: "However, and take this seriously, you F with me again," I think you know what the F word is, "at your peril." I think that's a threat, isn't it, Nigel? "F with me again at your peril." Free speech, eh? It's a good thing. "See ya, wouldn't want to be ya," says Nigel. So Nigel now issuing threats. Well, we're going to replay the interview with Nigel in a couple of moments, because a lot of listeners would have missed this yesterday. He missed this yesterday at all. The interview I'm going to play in a moment. John, clearly Nigel should be regarded as a danger to children. The fact he doesn't believe what he has done and may still be doing it is an offence, proves that. And a school teacher would have had access to our children to fantasise over it. Sickens me. There's no cure for paedophiles. Only one punishment fits the crime, says Anne-Marie. As a mother of 3 young children, John, I believe what Chris Whitter has done via Facebook, naming and shaming these 6 scumbags, is great. I'm on all his groups and also have him on my friends list on Facebook. Chris, you're a real hero to all parents. Keep going, honey. See you on Facebook. And Jenny Gibbs. Have a listen to a call. It came out of the blue yesterday. We've been talking about Chris Whitter's campaign to put online on Facebook the names and the faces of convicted sex offenders. Some people say it's cyberbullying. Other people say in the absence of Sarah's law, they support him fully. Nigel phoned up, disagreed completely. This is the interview and the call. As a call, it wasn't an interview. This is how it basically happened yesterday. Have a listen to this. It happened after 12. You might have missed it. If you listen to it, then call me. I want your views. 020 33 64 7000. Let's talk to Nigel in Doncaster. It says here that he's a registered sex offender. Good morning, Nigel.
Good morning, John.
You're a registered sex offender, it says. What does that mean?
Well, I have to register under the Notifications of the Sexual Offences Act 2003, yes.
Do you mind me asking why?
was making indecent images of children in 2002.
On the computer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how old were the children?
Oh, the whole range, but that's not really what we're here.
Well, that's part of what we need to discuss before we can move on. Did you go to prison?
Yes, I did for a time, yeah.
How long did you go for?
In total, it was 12 months.
So you did you do 12 months, or were you sentenced to 12 months?
I did 12 months.
How long were you sentenced to?
It was 15 months imprisonment and 21 months on licence.
Okay, so 15 months in prison. There must have been pretty vile images, I presume.
There was a whole range there, yeah.
Okay, why did you do it?
Are we talking about Chris or are we talking about me?
You? You just said you're a registered sex offender.
Yes, I phoned up to talk about Chris Whitworth.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just asking why did you do it? Then we'll go on to Chris.
Well, I did it by choice, I guess, at the time.
Okay.
Stroke, mental health issues. But,
okay.
But it's done now. Yeah.
All right, well, that's one way of looking at it. So what did Chris...
So why is the other way?
Well, the other way is to say that, you're a man who's convicted of a pretty heinous crime, in my personal opinion.
People, yes,
but no, not according to some people.
No.
Most right-minded people would say that what you did was horrendous. But what I want to do...
Hang on, John. Most right-minded people. How do you know? What's a right-minded person, by the way?
Explain that to me.
Well, I'm saying, how do you know? Have you done some research on what these people?
So
what people think?
you don't think the majority of people listening, say, to this programme... Let me finish. No, you asked me a question. I'm going to answer the question.
I take your point.
Let's have a reasonable discussion. Otherwise, it's not fair. Most right-minded people would think making images of children, which you went down for 15 months, is a pretty horrendous crime. That's what most people would think. But anyway, let's go on. What's your view on Chris, then, and his Facebook group?
Okay. The first thing is about Chris is I don't have a problem with the information that Chris is publishing, because that was published, of course, in the media in any case, and there's not much we can do about that. That's democracy, Having monitored the groups that Chris has been running and was associated with. The problem is, of course, is the society that Chris continues to propagate, the one that you've already referred to.
Yeah, explain that to me.
Well, perhaps up to 95% of people who have to register in my position are of no risk to society in comparison to anybody else.
Explain that.
I can give you the reference from a barrister about that.
No, explain to me why you're not a risk.
Well, I'm not a risk. I've never been a risk to a child. Nobody's ever said I've been a risk to a child by full assessment. Mine was a computer offence of downloading information that just happens to be incorporated in the Sexual Offences Act. You see...
Well, you downloaded pictures,
just a second. When you talk about most right-minded people, the problem is that many, not all, but most of the right-minded people you talk about do not know the facts of the matter.
Let me just... you tell me the facts, and what were you sentenced for? What were you sentenced for?
Downloading images of children.
Right,
nothing sexual about that. That's a computer offence, okay?
Right.
And, of course, during the 15 months, and in fact the 3 years, because I did tell you I was on 21 months on licence as well, I was fully assessed, and I'm fully assessed now until I do not have to register anymore. And I am a Category 1 low-risk registering person. There's no lower risk than you. I'm no more danger to a child than you are.
Are you on his Facebook group? Has he put you up?
Well, you see, the thing is, Facebook are only bothered about the bottom line, you see. So
are you on it? That's all I'm asking you.
Fine, yes, but what happens is people then attack you, and then people report you. And I've always been honest about being an offender online.
Has he named you on his Facebook group?
No, he hasn't, but his people there have. And he hosts the group. He's the moderator of the group.
So what's wrong?
It's his responsibility to not. By the way, just for the record, he's breaking copyright law every time he prints an image and the text on there.
Yeah, but the greatest respect, Nigel. Hold on a minute, Nigel. No, hang on a minute, Nigel. If we don't have a conversation, I will put the phone down on you. Most people wouldn't speak to you, but I'm going to speak to you. So let's speak. I just want to ask you a question. Most people would say that about the copyright issue, that's hardly anywhere near of concern to people, compared to what you did, which by your own admission was making decent photos and downloading them of children.
With respect, it's not about me. It's about Chris Whitworth and his Facebook.
It's not about you.
Isn't it?
Are you still doing it?
Let me just hang on. Just let me.
Are you still doing it?
I'll come back to that in a second. I will. Honestly, I don't have a problem answering any of the questions. I'll talk to you for an hour, John. That's not a problem. Okay. Let's go back. If you're telling me that the Sun, who you work for, is quite happy with their intellectual property being smattered all over Facebook, that's okay with me. I'm just pointing it out as a legal issue.
Okay.
You also know that Chris is an ex-football hooligan who's had orders carried out on him. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, you just want to do a bit of research about it.
We'll talk to him about that particular issue. But can we just go back to you? Are you still downloading pictures? Are you still downloading pictures?
One thing.
Are you still downloading pictures?
Question, just one more.
Are you still downloading pictures?
I will answer a question.
Answer it now, then.
I will ask you a question. I don't think that should be held against Chris, however, what I've just said. But the point is, I think you need to put things to matter.
Are you still downloading pictures?
Let's go back to answer. Of course I'm not. Why would I want
So
to?
how did you confront your offending behaviour?
But I chose to do what I did at the time. I no longer need to do it. It was just something amongst many things I was doing online at the time that just happened to be illegal quite recently, of course, only quite recent in my
So did you get off on it? I'm fascinated to know, because, did you get off on it?
There are many people who are sexually attracted to children in the world, millions in this country.
Are you still sexually attracted to children?
Everybody sexually attracted to minors to some extent, John.
No, I'm asking you. Are you still sexually attracted to children?
Just like you are, John, yes.
I'm not attracted to children at all, sexually.
You're not attracted to people under the age of 18, is that right, John?
Under the age of 16, I think you'll find is the
John,
law.
I think you'll find.
But I think you'll find I'm not, no.
Fine, John. I think you'll find in European law that the definition of a child is 18.
We're talking about British law here. Hang on a minute. How old were the children? How old were the children in your images?
From 18 downwards.
Yeah, what's the lowest age?
0 to 18.
So you were sexually attracted to children, babies, were you?
I beg your pardon?
Are you sexually attracted, or were you sexually attracted to babies?
My sexuality is none of your concern.
No, you just said that all of us are, and I'm telling
you are.
Why are you being confrontational when I'm just asking you questions? Well, answer the question.
I've answered the question for you.
For you to go down for 15 months, the images must have been pretty disgraceful.
Well, only in your opinion.
No, in the opinion of the court.
No, disgraceful is not a legal term.
So what is it then? What were the pictures of? Explain to me one of the pictures that you had in your possession.
I had, because I'm very good on computers, I had the whole range of ages and the whole range of images.
Give me an idea of the worst picture that somebody would have said, say the prosecuting barrister you had.
Yes, you get basically a selection of images, yes, specimen charges, because if there's a relatively large number.
Yeah, go on.
The worst picture, I would say, was frotterism with an infant, yes.
Why did you have a picture like that?
Why have I got a picture? Why have you got pictures of dead children from Afghan on your son's side?
I haven't got a picture of a dead child.
I can't find a dead child.
Oh, I see. You mean, so when we show pictures, say, of kids dead in a war zone in our paper, that's as bad, is it?
Of course it is. It's exactly. In fact, it's even worse because they're
Tell
dead
me why.
children.
Tell me why.
They are dead children. That's more indecent to me than a child basically having cream rubbed on it, you know.
So did you think looking at pictures of children in a sexual manner, there's nothing wrong with that?
Excuse me, I've not said I did look at them in a sexual manner. My offence was making indecent images of children. That's a computer offence.
Why did you make indecent pictures of children?
Because I could. But let's go back to the sexual...
Why? Why would you... No, hold on a minute. Explain to me, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Stop butting in, I will.
Oh, no, you know what you are. You know what?
John, you're going to... Before you rant...
I'm not going to rant. I tell you what, I'm not going to be aggressive. No, you answer the question.
Just let me answer the question.
You answer the question first. Go on, then.
Right. The offence which I carried out is not to do with sexuality. It is not illegal to masturbate to an image of anything. So I don't really see what the issue is to you.
So you don't think you should have gone to prison?
Well, most people aren't now. Most people get commuted. Now we've learned...
No, I'm asking you, do you feel that you shouldn't have gone to prison for 15 months?
It was a pointless exercise.
Why was it pointless?
I'm a skilled professional. I guess it's cost society financially now, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of pounds. I probably will for the rest of my life.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I don't know. I'm unemployed, obviously. That's what society does to you in these positions.
What did you do before?
I was a teacher.
So you were a teacher. You were making these indecent photos.
Downloading, we have to make
downloading and making them, were you?
No, downloading.
So you weren't making any pictures?
Making means downloading, John.
Yeah, but that's what you were doing, yes?
Downloading.
How many pictures did you have?
Well, I don't know, because indecency is measured by the court.
Well, what did the court say?
the court get 21 specimen charges.
So there's 21 specimen
But
charges.
there are many more
before.
images than that. The question is, were they indecent or not?
Okay, and you still say they weren't, in your opinion?
Well, no.
So do you feel?
No image is indecent, in my opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a subjective decision.
Okay, so you don't feel you should have gone to prison?
Well, I think it was a pointless exercise. All it's done is damage me, made me challenge. I don't mind challenging lies and misinformation, but it's just made me more active in making.
Okay, so what stopped you doing it now then? Because you say you no longer do it. What stopped you doing it?
Well, I'd done what I needed to do at the time.
What does that mean? I don't understand that.
I went off looking for, basically at the time. We don't really have the time here, but it was an issue of exploring lots of issues. It was an issue of me feeling that. I was being stress at work issues, basically.
Okay. So, what help did you get? What help did you get?
No. You don't get really.
So you got no real treatment when you were in prison?
No, because you see, the point of treatment is to reduce or stop reoffending. Yes, it's not. They don't really care about looking at the source issues because they're far too big, like any other mental health issue in the country. What they want to do is, and that's what treatment actually means. That's when people say there's no cure, inverted commas, for paedophilia. Well, of course there's not. It's just human sexuality. What there is treatment, inverted commas, to stop people offending or reoffending. That's what treatment means.
Okay.
And they can only apply the amount of treatment to the relative risk of the person.
Okay, just going back to Chris then, do you think Chris is putting your life or other people's life in danger?
I've no doubt whatsoever. If you read some of the comments on Chris's groups, plus groups which are associated and supporting him, it is definitely whipping up a storm.
All right, so therefore he should be banned from doing that?
I can't stop the papers putting out the information.
No, the Facebook group. Should he be allowed to have the Facebook group?
I don't mind Chris Whitwer having a Facebook group saying, like the Sarah's Law groups, back Sarah's Law. Of course, I have problems with Sarah's Law, but I don't have a problem with the Sarah's Law groups because they're well moderated, They say the piece, they say what they've got to say, they give the reasons, everybody does what they've got to do. No problem with that at all. What I have is, just look at the tag titles in his groups, how he talks about offenders. It doesn't come from a balanced, rational point of view of saying, look, we must stop abuse against children, we must help people stop offending, blah, 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 blah.
What do you think about the abuse of children?
It's absolutely in our society. Well, it depends what I mean by abuse, of course. That's another story in itself. But what we're talking about here, illegal sexual offending on children, isn't acceptable in our society. Of course it is.
That's enough of him, I think.